And what's up, everybody? What's up, guys? How we doing? I was just talking to Deech about it, guys. I think this is the best week of White Sox baseball that we've ever had, especially the two teams we faced. They swept the Royals, and then they took 2 out of 3 against the Chicago Cubs in the thriller yesterday. And of course, the guy we all thought would walk it off, Mr. Edgar Caro, did it, and maybe this will turn his season around. So, after a great week of baseball, guys, how we feeling? And are you ready? And is everybody ready to join the wagon on the White Sox yet? Or so, yeah. Deech, how we feeling about this and everything going on right now?
I mean, especially after our predictions last week. I mean, we thought they'd play solid baseball, but I don't think any of us thought a sweep of KC and then taking 2 out of 3 of the Cubs, especially once it got past Friday's game. I did not know how the bullpen would recover after kind of imploding on Friday. So it was nice that Davis Martin came out and did what Davis Martin does this year. I mean, the dude is a menace on the mound. But that was a hell of a game on Saturday. I mean, 5 home runs from the Sox. Colson hits Stadium Club. It was wild. It was a wild atmosphere.
Yeah, I don't know. It was awesome there on Saturday for sure. That was one of the better atmospheres I've been at in a minute. Obviously, it's fun when they're just lighting off the fireworks the whole night. Yesterday's win, though, was, I thought, the best of the week. But yeah, I mean, again, we said, 3-3 is acceptable. 4-2 would be a good week. I don't even think that even Deech, Mr. Optimist, would have even, let himself think of what it could look like if they went 5-1 against those teams. I think, it's easy to get caught up in the Cubs series, and just like any team really that they've played the past few years, but just like a lot of the AL Central teams, the Sox were 2-12 against the Cubs the last 3 years. So they've matched that win total in 3 games, and but it's easy to look past how significant it is that they swept Kansas City. They've not played a bunch of division games yet, so we haven't really get to have the sample size, but it's encouraging that they're not just going to lose however many games against the division this year, at least on paper, in theory right now, that they've kind of fought off those demons. I saw some Royals beat writer after that series tweet whatever the hell the Royals record was against the White Sox the last 3 years and what it was against the rest of baseball. And they're under 500 against every other team that wasn't the White Sox. And he's like, I don't know where they're going to find their wins if the White Sox aren't wins. Well, and now, we can beat up on the shitty AL Central and be just less shitty than them. So, I know where everyone's brains are at after the weekend, and those last 2 games were awesome. But don't want to bury how significant it is that they were able to dispose of KC. And it sucks. We have to wait another week to get any other sample size against the Central, but it was an awesome week. It really was.
So then for the season, we're now 5-2 against the Royals?
5-2 against the Royals. And they've played like triple the amount of division games that we've had. Did you guys catch that on the broadcast? They played all AL Central, and we played 7 games against KC. We don't even play Cleveland for over a month still yet. So yeah, it's a nice start. And hey, you know what? Maybe the Royals are the worst team in the Central, and it'll end up being irrelevant. And the Twins and Tigers put us back in our place. I can't see that happening. But yeah, that is as encouraging as anything. That not only are you winning these games, different guys, we'll talk about all that, but that you're slaying dragons along the way of what's made you not just bad the past few years, but historically bad.
Yeah, I think that's a good point too. Where it's just they're going out there and doing the things that they haven't done the last 2 years, like win the run games. Yes, Sir Anthony Dominguez, and he'll be something we talk about later.
Yeah. How many of those are one-run games because he's giving up fucking 9th inning homers?
But I mean, at least they're able to finish them off because we know the last 3 years they haven't been able to do that. Or the comebacks where we go up, we give up like the 2 runs yesterday to the Cubs and everything else like that. A couple years ago, it would have been over, game over. Let's wrap it in. Well, yesterday, and now I feel like you can't leave a Sox game because even if they give up 4 runs, they could come right back storming in, and with the power that Murakami, McColston, and Vargas are showing right now, I mean, it's insane to watch these guys. They said it today. I think they have 41 of the 64 home runs or something like that of the White Sox home runs. And having guys like Derek Hill and Tristan Peters show up is something that we haven't had since Brian Goodwin and Billy Hamilton did when the last time the Sox were relevant in all of this. So, I mean, that's a very good thing. And I've said it before. I got no sympathy for Royals and all of them. They've been beating our ass for so long. I just want to pound them and beat the shit out of them. And I don't know if you guys saw that thing that Ozzy's nephew or grandson did or whatever at a birthday party, but they have like a meme on the post game show. He's just beating the crap out of all the mascots or whatever. So that's just what I want to do all year to the division, and that's going to be the big thing is when we do continue to play these division rivals, because the only team in the division I feel like is actually good is the Guardians. What are they, 26 and 24, 22? But I mean, they're still not even great. And I mean, the entire AL Central is complete garbage. The fact the Sox have a 3-game lead in the wild card right now, a second wild card, is kind of insane to me. So I don't think anybody had that on their card in May. And again, it is only May, and that's why I don't want to get too excited. But I mean, how much longer can we just say, keep saying that the White Sox are just, until it's actually they're good, and that we may actually have a really good baseball team. So I think, and Deech talked about it earlier, I think this weekend against Seattle, or this week against Seattle, is going to be huge because they could even just take 2 out of 3. I think that just continues and try to build as big of a lead as they can before we play these division games and stuff like that, because that is going to be a big telling sign at the end of the year. So
I think Seattle's going to be a challenge for us, but as long as our offense can get to pitchers, I feel a lot more confident in games. There are those stinkers where, like earlier in the season, what is it? Bubik had like 11 Ks against us, and they just did nothing. So you want to avoid as many of those games as possible. But I mean, then you go to San Francisco, who I don't really think is playing very good baseball. They're talking about selling already at the deadline, I was reading, or at least they're teetering with it. So, I mean, take advantage of the road trip. You seem to have played relatively well on the West Coast already this season. So just keep chugging along. It's like a day-by-day thing. I can't get to the point unless we're like sitting at the deadline and like Chris Getz goes, all right, we're not going to be crazy buyers, but we're going to moderately buy here and see. That would be when you'd be like, okay, I can see what they're actually going for it. Until we hit that point, it's kind of hard because a lot can happen. I mean, look, like Kyle Teal, I think, had a setback or whatever, didn't play over the weekend. They were going to reevaluate him, I believe they said Tuesday. So,
yeah,
a lot of moving factors here, good and bad. So we'll see how that winds up. But we are 7-3 in our last 10 games, and I think, Justin, are you not a huge fan of run differential, or is that someone else that I talked to?
No, I mean it tells a story a lot of the time.
We are down to -7 run differential, which if we can flip that to a positive here, I don't, other than like the start of a season, if they won a game, I don't think we've had a positive run differential in the last 3 years for an elongated period of time. So,
it's this week is an interesting one. This week's an interesting one because of the fact that you're going to 2 pitcher-friendly parks. So the way they've been winning games might not necessarily be the way that they need to win games this week. San Francisco's struggling, obviously. You got to think Seattle's going to want to get us back. And so what I want to see this week is you talk about like when you start believing, like, you're not really going to be in until like deadline moves, like now thinking it's too good to be true. Either that or they're going to have to rattle off like 10 wins in a row at some point and like build a lead where you're like, Cleveland needs to catch us. Like right now it's kind of like waiting for these other teams, especially in the wild card race, to take off. But, Yeah, so you're like, if the Bats travel, they're lucky that only one of the games in San Francisco is a night game, because like those places out west, those two parks especially, that ball just kind of dies at night. And they have some big power in the lineup. I'm not saying they can't overcome it. I mean, Barry Bonds broke the fucking home run record playing in San Francisco, but it's not. They might have to show us something different this week. And what I want to see this week is, you're still really not sure about any starter that's not Davis Martin. I don't want to step on the toes for later. I know that you had on the list what starter impressed you the most the last week. I think we're all going to say Davis Martin taking the ball. Again, no walks, and just shoving against the Cubs on Saturday night.
And he said it Friday night too. He said, "I'm not gonna have any walks against the Cubs," which I think is even better. That they're just out there, he's out there talking and strutting, and he got no shame in his game, and he's going out there.
I didn't even realize that he said that because I didn't watch the broadcast. That's awesome. Yeah. But regardless, you have the walks with Schultz has been a problem. Kay has been good the past couple times out. He hasn't exactly been facing formidable lineups. Burke and Fetty both are looking back to like, hey, we need openers for these guys. So my thing for this week is like, starting pitching needs to, in pitcher-friendly parks against lineups that aren't really hitting the cover off the ball, show us some consistency so that I don't feel like it's a roll of the dice a lot of the nights with who you're going to get. And Schultz tonight, it starts with him, and it starts with him throwing strikes. Hey, he'll get the ball twice this week, so.
Big facts on that one, because you're absolutely right. With Schultz's start last week, he did have a lot of walks, and luckily, I think that was the one game we lost. Or no, wait, not.
No, we won that game that he pitched. Right. It was the second Royals game.
That's right. That was the second. I freaking can't. That's right.
He just gets in trouble when it's like multiple walks in an inning. I feel some of it is just him probably getting used to pitching at this level. His composure tends to slip a little bit, where you can tell he's getting pissed at himself. But that'll just take time. But yeah, no, him having a good outing to start the series tonight would be huge, especially on the travel day, because they just pretty much beat the Cubs and had to dip out of Chicago and head to Seattle. So.
Yeah, and they used, obviously, it took every, reliable arm in the bullpen and then some yesterday to get that done. And that was why it's a little aggravating. Yesterday, Fetty goes 4 innings, those 100 pitches in 4 innings, and it's like, oh, dude, we're going out west tomorrow. You're asking the bullpen to come cover all this today, which aside from Dominguez, they did, so credit to them. But that's.
I think with the pitching too, I don't know that there's anyone in the minors that has built up like enough stamina where they can come up and even count on. Like, I don't think you can count on Hagen Smith right now coming up and consistently giving you minimally 5. That other guy, David Sandlin, is still, I would guess, kind of rehabbing. I mean, they started him in AAA. He was the guy in the Jordan Hicks trade that was supposed to add value to the whole package or whatever. And he's looked solid in AAA, but that's the thing, is they just don't have, and you have, I think McDougal and Shane Smith are both on the IL.
I think McDougal's done for the year, no?
I have no idea.
Long term at the very least. But again, that's not a guy who if he's never pitched in the bigs, your deadline addition can't be right. Right.
There's just no one right now. You're almost stuck with what you have.
If they get anywhere near the deadline and they are anywhere near the race, the number one thing that they're going to need is a starting pitcher.
Yeah.
And that's one thing. There's going to be multiple needs. But it'll start with that. And this week can really do a lot to kind of ease my nerves on where the pitching's at right now from the rotation perspective. But it's just been the last couple starts from Fetty and Burke have made me, are they going to have – because it feels backwards it feels like a step back if they're going back to these guys need Grant Taylor to open for them. But when you look at what's happened to Fetty these past couple first innings, it's hard to not be like, well, just put Grant Taylor out there in the first. which sucks. I hate the opener, but what I hate more is him give up homers in the first inning.
I honestly feel like since they stopped the opener shit, that they have won pretty consistently here.
They have.
So it's almost like
you don't want to
I
mess
would really struggle to mess with because there are times where Grant Taylor fits like perfect in like the 6th or 7th inning. Because obviously they want Hudson and whoever else in the higher leverage spot. Newcomb's been very solid.
No, I'll just never be happy. I mean, when they were using the opener, I was getting on here talking about how it would be great to have Grant Taylor in the 6th and 7th inning. Now they have him in the 6th and 7th inning, and I'm like, well, Betty and Burke are having trouble in the first inning.
No, you can't win. It's with the inconsistency with starts. Yeah. And they said, I don't know. I didn't really see after the second inning on TV actually yesterday of the game. Was Fetty, they kept mentioning he kept looking at his thumb or something. Did he have like a blister or something?
The broadcast was
they were
trying
making a big deal about that blister.
Of being the blister, which like it's very hard to pitch a blister on your thumb, but they wouldn't show him that in the first inning at all, and that's when he really was getting beat. I mean, like they were talking about how the wind changed direction after Bush's homer. I don't think that happened. I think that Bush just hit the shit out of the ball against Petty and hit it low enough that it didn't get caught up in the wind. I don't know. Yeah, Tino, I don't know if you know this, but Deech blew the Tristan Peters homer for me. He was listening on the radio, and I was watching on my couch, and on the stream on the CHSN app, which is always light years behind, and I guess worse so for me yesterday. And he calls me, and he's like, "Did Peters just kill that ball or what?" And I was still a whole batter behind. Edgar Caro was still batting on my TV. So I have family over, and I told everyone in my house, I'm like, hey, just so you know,
you should start batting like a hot tub time machine when they're sitting in the bar.
I shamed myself after I called you because I was like, damn it.
No.
But I didn't realize the radio. I never listen to the radio. I'm always watching on TV. Yeah. And I did not realize it is like, I mean, that was a significant chunk where you're like, I like Caro or someone just like walked up to the plate. Like,
yeah. Well, the stream, I left the stream and refreshed it after that inning to like make sure I was as caught up as I can be. But no, I was, believe me, I was just happy that you were calling with good news. That was
right.
Right. But I ended up going out back and finishing the game on the radio at my parents' house anyway because was tired of being behind.
Yeah, shoot, Len had a hell of a call.
Way when I'm watching, because that's the same way. There'll be times where I'll get like a notification or something, and I just have to turn my phone around.
Oh, the notifications get me all the time. But again, when they're good, it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. You know, it's always a good time. It's better that way. It's more fun. Makes the summer go by quicker.
So offensively, obviously, everyone exploded this week, and I'll start with Tino. Which player, you can only pick one, would you give your shout out to for the most impactful in the 5-1 week that they just had?
All together, I mean, I feel like in the Kansas City series, I was very shocked. I don't even know if he played that much, but Jared Kelenic, I don't know. I feel like we're seeing a little bit of what he had in Seattle, and I think him and Romo had a game during KC that I don't know, just really impressed me. So the guys that are stepping up are the ones that are impressing me the most. So, but I'll say Jared Kelenic.
Justin, who do you got?
I mean, well, Grichuk for what he's for the small sample size, I should say, has been like wow. I mean, he came in and got the hit yesterday, fresh off the bench. But now my guy, if we're going the non-traditional dudes, has been Derek Hill for sure. Couple massive blasts, pinch hit one on Tuesday, then comes in and makes a diving catch in the 9th. He's always it seemed yesterday after he made an out. I can't even remember whoever was batting after him. He was coaching him up a lot, like going back to the dugout. Seems like he's always got the quotes about how much the guys love playing together and stuff. I love a guy like that who's really just seems like a true team player. And I hope they find a way to find a spot to keep him around as the season progresses and they get healthy and start getting some of these guys back if they ever come back. But I've very much enjoyed him, and I know he doesn't play every day. My everyday guy would be, and it's not prisoner of the moment. I've been championing him, but I love Tristan Peters. I love a great defensive center fielder who's can lay down a bunt. He's all right at the plate. His average isn't spectacular, but you don't come up and you think, oh, here's an automatic out either. He had the big homer yesterday, obviously. So much as we rip on the outfield, and they have issues out there, but the guys are at least easy to root for.
Yeah, and they all care. That's the big thing. They all just want to go out there and win and play for each other. I mean, the excitement and the enthusiasm that all of them had yesterday was just so fun to see. And obviously Edgar went a little overboard, but I mean, maybe that's what will turn the season around, and maybe now Edgar will show up that we saw.
Dude, when you've had the struggles he's had and have a moment like that, I'm not gonna be upset about an excessive celebration. It's not the NFL; he can't be penalized for it.
Troll can't be fined for that one.
Yeah,
I gotta say though, watching that replay where he stopped halfway between third base and home and started pounding his chest, I mean, that got me amped. I was like, "Fuck yeah, dude!" I mean, he's been getting shit from people like on social media. I mean, there's people DMing him nasty ass shit. He deserved that moment.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, no, I have no problem with him celebrating like he just hit the biggest home run in the history of baseball because, frankly, I still think he's going to Charlotte when Teal comes up.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, Drew Romo missed like 5 balls Friday night, and they still put him back in the lineup on Saturday. Caro has so lost the starting job behind the dish to the point where he just plays these day game getaway games, like yesterday, the day game after the night game.
Or he's used as a pinch hitter, I've noticed. Like the days he doesn't play, he normally gets thrown in there sometime after the 7th. Whenever they need if it's like they're changing pitchers and they want him hitting righty or whatever, he'll throw him out there.
I love the celebration. I have no problem with it. It's been a really tough year for him, and he's worn it. You've seen it on his face lots of times. And I'm just glad that he got to have a moment, and that was a big one.
And it'll be interesting to see how long Teal now is either paused or still in Charlotte. So we'll have to see with that. But what was I going to say here? I was going to say, I thought both of you would go with the standard Mooney, Vargas, or Colson as your big offensive players.
I guess I must have missed the question. I figured from Tino's answer that those guys were off the table. No, I mean, obviously, I'm a big Vargas guy right now. Okay. That is being a prisoner of the moment because he's a Cubs killer and he had a huge weekend. He just seems like the guy I want up there when they need a big hit.
I mean, those three have been the three that have been contributing, and that's what's been helping the lineup so much. And obviously,
they have 3 superstars and a bunch of guys who step up just enough. That's what the lineup is right now.
And exactly and that's exactly what the Sox have needed. And I mean, I heard somebody say it this past week. The Murakami signing completely changed this franchise around, and have somebody in that lineup, and even Colston said to have somebody protect him to see pitches. And as you said, Derek Hill out there coaching guys is something that the other guys would never do. And it's just so refreshing to go out there and watch them do it, where it's like exciting to look forward to watching a White Sox game again. And yeah, it's only been a week or whatever, but I mean, let's enjoy it because it's been so bad for so long that you can't take that last week away from us or the Cubs series away from, and that's just the way I look at it because,
So, because I assumed you all would take like the big studs, the big 3, we'll call them. I was going to say Tristan Peters. I mean, the dude just, whenever you need him to come up with a clutch hit, he seems to find a way to get on base. And defensively, he makes some ridiculous plays out there. So that was who I was going to go with. And then I think in general, this whole team, just speaking of guys fitting in their roles, I don't really recall the last core talking much about like having each other's back, and then we physically saw they didn't have each other's back when they let Tim Anderson get knocked out like mid-game. And no one really did shit like to retaliate that. So I mean, just the fact that they're vocalizing it and showing it on the field, it just seems like everyone knows their like where they fit their role in the team. And the second someone's tapped on the shoulder to go in and do something, I mean, it's more of a team. The mindset is all team. There's none of this like me shit that we saw with the last core. So it's been very impressive. Guys like Derek Hill, Tristan Peters is growing on like the entire fan base. I mean, that's wild that was his first ever major league home run yesterday.
Hell of a time for it.
So,
and the big thing too is he's doing the things that like Ozzy always talks about, the bunting, the stealing, the this and that, and making the plays that like me and Deech were talking about. I don't know if you were in here yet, Justin, but he's making plays like Robert, but obviously he's not robbing home runs, but he's making the diving catches that Robert would do. And so it's just one of those things to have a guy out there that can do that. And you can say what you want, but he's just going out there and doing all the things that they need him to do. And that's just nice to have a center fielder to put out there for a minute that, until.
Especially when he's playing like every day he's asked to play.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Robert's biggest issue was just not being on the field. And I mean, the Mets are loving it.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that's my biggest thing. It's just nice to have as guys go out there, and if they do get a little bruised up, not to lay on the floor and roll around. They all get up and they stay in the game, unless obviously, but.
So before we get to my one, I guess, negative topic for the show, the only other thing, in my opinion, at least, Chris Getz and company, all of the people, wise minds he's brought in around him, they kind of deserve their flowers a little bit here. I mean, no one seriously predicted that we'd be sitting where we are right now, record-wise. And even just like if you would have looked at the schedule, I mean, like we were talking about earlier, no one would have predicted you go 5-1 this week, especially at the beginning of the season. If you were just glancing at the schedule, you would have thought, well, we're going to get our teeth kicked in probably. So, I mean, I don't know how much. And going along with giving them their flowers, like, what if you are a believer already of like, maybe this can go somewhere? Okay. If not, what would it take for you to be like, I'm fully sold on like, and I'm not just talking this season, I'm like more so referring to just like the whole vision. I mean, now you can kind of start seeing Getz's vision or team roster, guys that he wants in there come together. So is this more sustainable than what we were given last time and told it was for the longevity of some contention window? Because that's kind of what this needs to eventually turn into if we went down the whole rebuild road. So who wants to go first? I know that was kind of a lot and I babbled a bit, but
I mean, I think Justin said it perfect earlier. This week is a big tally, at least for me. If they could win 2 out of 3 and 1 out whatever, they have another good week this week, I think I'll be bought in a lot more. And that's why it's just like I don't want to get too excited because I don't want to get my expectations too high and everything else like that. But if they go out there and play good against Seattle and San Francisco, and obviously Giants aren't the best team, but Seattle's a big test, and them being 3 games up on Seattle right now, they win 2 out of 3. That's 5 games up on Seattle. And then who knows what the others are doing. So I think that's for me. And I think it is containable. I think it just continuing to the vision and don't sell pieces. And as you said, we're going to have to sell certain pieces eventually. But don't be going out and trading a Colston Montgomery for whatever. And that's the thing that they've always done. So obviously you said like the Billy Colstons, maybe Caleb Bottomer or whatever. Somebody like that to go out and help the team. It just more or less when do you want to do that and when do you want to take that and get the right guys. And I do feel a little bit better with Chris Getz finding the right guys that are going to come in here because it's kind of funny. You guys have been talking about all the stuff with the last core and everything. Last week, I went on like a binge of watching like highlights of 2022 to 2020, like 4 of bench clears and fights. The Sox are in about 12 to 13 fights. in those 3 years. It was at least every other fight the Sox were in, and it was just the guys didn't care about each other, and the fact that they were fighting or all the ones that they got into, it's one of those things. I think that the guys that they have now and the fact that all of those guys are gone, obviously besides Davis Martin, is, I mean, insane. And again, nobody had that in 2020. If you were to say Davis Martin, or 2022, Davis Martin was going to be our stud and our starting pitcher, shit, even in the beginning of the year, nobody was going to say that. So having a guy out there too to go out there and like stop a bleeding if we need to, I think that's the other thing. And I don't think they've even lost more than 4 games this year either, which is something that we haven't done in a long time. So I think it is containable. I think it just goes back to when and where they pick the players and who they pick, because obviously getting like the Lance Lynn's of the world didn't work last time. So that's right.
To believe in this long term, that they're on the right track, I need them to start having it consistently, like it's been with Montgomery, where guys come up from the minor leagues, heralded prospects, and there's not this massive learning curve of that we've dealt with a lot. And DJ, I used to always say to you, like, when are we going to have our Corbin Carroll, like the guy who just comes up and is like an immediate impact player and starts playing right away, and it's not, oh, give him time, he's learning, but you can tell if you're watching that it might just not be there at all. So the test on that, or Braden Montgomery, is the next immediate one. I worry less about pitchers, so I won't really throw Hagen Smith into that. But then, yeah, you're like down the road, you're looking at like, how do they develop Bonham or Cholowski? So this isn't just, if you're talking about a belief in the organization and how they're doing things, it's going to take some of that time. How they can do it in the intermediate is by supplementing this roster with guys who are actually good culture fits and belong with this group. Personality wise, and just are you a clubhouse guy? Do you gel here? Because, and I hate how often we harken back to like the last group, but like clearly that personalities and all that didn't matter at all. They weren't concerned at all with what a major league clubhouse looks like and operates as. So that needs to change. And yeah, eventually, they're going to have to make a ballsy move that might require selling off somebody who we don't want to sell off, and and I'm not saying that's not a requirement. That's not, I'm not going to need to see that to believe in this, but I mean, you talk about this season is one thing, and when we get to believe this season, I can't really answer that because I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know when they're going to make me believe. But in terms of if you're like, they know what they're doing top to bottom of the organization now. Guys need to get to the big leagues and be ready to perform in the big leagues, and because that's how you churn this out consistently. You get guys up and you're waiting on them to, you're watching Moncada strike out 200 fucking times in a season. Oh, just wait. Guys, he's never going to have the appetite to swing at those pitches that are right down the plate with 2 strikes. You can't teach an eye. Well, you can't teach caring either.
Yeah.
So it's a longer answer, but just consistently putting this is encouraging that these guys like each other and they like playing together. From that aspect, I need to see that, continue year over year. And that's improved every year under Getz. So, and I'll definitely give him that. He's gotten better at identifying how he can fill holes on the team. And he's done a good job complimenting very good players this year. And that's for sure.
So not even like a rebuttal, but let me ask you, because you mentioned having someone come up and be impactful, like Colson, for example. Now, Sam Antonacci, and I'm just highlighting this because I was somewhat of a non-believer when he first came up, because I was just like, nothing really like jumps off the like TV screen is like, wow, this guy is going to like make an impact here. He's been fantastic for the most part.
It's a great point. More like that. But yeah, I'm glad you took the time to bring him up, because
I mean, he's not going to like overpower like home run wise. Obviously, he's only has an inside the park one currently.
That really should have been, blown dead, as it were.
Yeah. So other than that one, I mean, it's not like he's raking in that aspect, but I think his average is over 260, somewhere around there.
Yeah, no, he's been great.
He gets on base, he makes the defensive plays in left field, and he brings some energy. And
He's been a great intangibles guy, and he plays hard, and he's a good. He falls more into like bringing guys in who fit in the clubhouse.
No, I get that, but I'm just saying they developed him. I'm saying like you can see like they're at least whatever Chris gets spent money on, which is why payroll's been slashed and all that, and he keeps saying I'm investing in like more infrastructure prior to. I mean, they bucked up a little bit here in the offseason. I've been impressed with that because I slightly have bought it more and more into Getz, but that was my biggest gripe is it was interesting how focused he was on not necessarily the roster itself, but how bad everything else was, which I have now come to realize was detrimental in many ways where you were never going to have this massive contention window unless you addressed all of the stuff in the farm system all the way up. So
yeah, and that clearly involved completely hitting rock bottom, and they did. No, won't look this sad either, but yeah, no, I mean Antonacci is a great counter, and it's not even a counter. Like you said, you don't want it to be a rebuttal. You're right. I mean, they did make him from nothing into something, and he's been a solid major league player. I guess when I talked about Colson or Braden or Caleb, it's more of who like franchise
the top end guys, yeah.
Like here are going to be the guys who lead your franchise. Even if Antonacci is an everyday player for the next decade, but these are the guys who are going to hit 30 homers for you.
And that's why this draft is going to be interesting too, because I mean, I'm assuming we all are kind of thinking it's Rock Chalowski, so. College bat, you would think.
I don't have the patience for another high school guy.
I don't either, because what was it last year? They took, wasn't it Carlson and Fauski? So, I mean, you took a lot of there's layers, which I appreciate them, but depending on what you're doing with Mooney, you kind of have opened your window. I mean, Colson, Vargas, and Mooney alone are, at least from what we've seen this year, you're like, damn, if this continues all season, we may have something cooking here. Because I think all of them are close to, based off of where they're currently hitting, like home run wise, they're all projected to hit over like 35 home runs at this point. Now, I don't know that that'll actually happen, but that's wild to be talking about from a team who had Lennon Sosa hit 22 last year was our high.
Yeah,
we already have more home runs than we did, and I think we didn't get to this amount of home runs until June 22nd. Ryan McGuffey put out something this morning or something about it. So, I mean, as Justin always likes to say, ball go far, team go far, and so that's been the biggest thing too with the three of them, to have them to go, and including Chase too, to have a core of guys that we can maybe build around is something that
Well, you can see it's helping. I mean, I think we're top 5 in all of baseball in home runs, maybe even a little higher than 5. And then I think in the AL, we're like second in home runs.
I mean, shit, they're the 4th best team in the American League or 5th best team. And obviously the American League is playing like shit. But I mean, if we're still sitting here in June and July, like we talked about all those years for the White Sox, when do we finally say like the White Sox suck? And like Justin has had and said, like, when are we going to finally say the White Sox suck? When are we going to finally say the AL just sucks? And yes, it's still May, but I mean, if it's still going on in June or July, the AL might just suck, and we might just have to take advantage of it this year and see what the fuck happens. So,
yeah, and I would suspect this AL NL is not going to last as long as everyone. Manfred's next thing is expansion teams, and he's going to reshuffle the division.
Baby.
Would be right before he's out of here in 2029. So who knows? Take advantage of the division now, because who knows what it'll be.
I mean, if they have an expansion team, are they going to do like the NHL did, where they just let them take a player from each team? That'd be kind of fucked up. I want to know who allowed the NHL to do that.
They could protect guys, I think, in the NHL, but it's almost like a 40-man roster type thing where if they weren't protected, they could just claim them.
I wonder how that would work for the MLB. Because, I mean, we're talking about it, but it's coming up sooner rather than later. And, I mean, shit.
So, before we move on, I did have my one negative thing. Sir Anthony Dominguez, you're on my shit list. And I think because we haven't had an actual closer the last 2 seasons, that people are almost getting too excited about when they're like, oh, well, like all season we only had this many saves and he had this many like in the first 2 months or whatever. I can respect that they brought someone in to address that, but holy fuck, can it ever just be a clean inning? Like, ever. I mean, it's
a White Sox fan. It's not easy.
No, I mean, on that too, Dietrich, even comparing the numbers and this season had this and that season had that. It's also just part of the experience of having an everyday closer.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm just saying, I think the number gets like inflated by how bad it was.
It's horrible. I mean, forget the game yesterday. Well, don't forget the game yesterday because that was the worst of it all. But he had the one game against Kansas City, man. Was it Wednesday? They would have Kansas City. Bobby Witt would have tied it if Montgomery didn't give them the insurance run in the seventh.
Yeah, he gave up the homer to Bobby Witt. We got that call too. You're right, because Garcia struck out before Bobby Witt came up, but we got a call there.
Yeah, I mean, shit list is the right place for him right now.
Because those are 2 games. You're absolutely right. We lose. This is a completely different episode this week, and that just. I mean, yeah, it's nice to have somebody to go out there, and that has been. And as I said earlier, but I mean, I'm tired of having heart palpitations. I feel like I'm watching a fucking Bears game sometimes. It's like they have the lead, they come back, they tie it, they give up the lead. Oh, let's have a walk off. Like I don't know if I could do this for 162 games with Mr. Anthony Dominguez. So, I mean, hopefully it's a bad stretch. Hopefully he figures it out. I mean, he is going up against his former team this week, so maybe we'll see if he gets an opportunity and. All right, it was Seattle, right, that he was on, right? Or was it Tampa Bay?
No, he was on Toronto.
Was it Toronto? Oh, never
and he
mind.
might have been on Baltimore at one point. He's bounced around, I think, a few times.
Right. I don't know why I thought he was on Seattle, but anyway, I mean, I just think that he's got to have a good week and just go out there and do. I mean, he had a lot of saves for Toronto. They were in the World Series last year. So
he wasn't their closer.
He wasn't.
Closer was Dustin Hoffman.
That's right. Okay. Well, I don't know then. Just figure out the closer position.
Well, it's a double-edged sword because you're almost if you are actually going to at least
Hudson
make a push.
Because Hudson's been incredible. I think. I mean, yeah, he's had some spots, but he's gotten out of it.
Dude, here's what I learned from 21 with the Hendricks and Kimbrel thing. The guy they paid to be the closer is going to be the closer. It doesn't matter how bad it gets in one direction or another.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying here.
Closer, but Kimbrel clearly couldn't pitch the 8th, and they just ignored it because Liam Hendricks was paid to be the closer. And they'll do the same thing, but inversely here. Yeah, unless they really surprise me.
That's where I'm at is like there's he has to just pick his get his shit together. I mean, if they're going to make a push, because it's not like you're gonna go. You can't go trade for another closer. I mean, that would be being an aggressive buyer. And I think if they get to the point of even talking buying, it's going to be relatively conservative because
you can get relievers for cheap. There's not but
you don't need an actual closer.
They're going to need the prospects to go get the starter.
Yeah.
I just got word that Teal hurt himself again, and it's 3 to 6 weeks. Have you seen anything about this?
I have not. Must have just came out.
Diagnosed on Monday in Chicago with a sprained right lateral collateral ligament, which is expected to require 3 to 6 weeks of rest and rehabilitation before he can return to play. That is from Brooke Fletcher on Twitter.
Yay! Well, they said that they were going to reevaluate him tomorrow, so they must have done it today and stuff.
Well, today is tomorrow, and the news wasn't good.
So yeah. Well, I guess Edgar Caro ride that vibe into a little hot streak here. But ultimately, it comes down to roster moves. I don't think Romo has any more options, whereas Caro does. So if Romo continues to play solid enough, may not matter what Caro does unless he just goes like ape shit. But
And honestly, just to be like anything, maybe this is like a blessing in disguise. Because I mean, the way the team's playing right now, do you really want to break them up? And yeah, it would be great to have Teal and everything, but I mean, I don't know. So it's just one of those things. It's like awful to see him continuously now have to deal with this, but I mean, hopefully he can come back in 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and I don't know. Because what that would put us at what, July? So at the All-Star break we're at now with him. So
Yeah, if it's the full 6, you're looking at early July. Getting
Romo,
close to
yeah, I mean Romo's got to just continue what he's doing, and as you said, Edgar Caro got to
Romo has
that
been
game.
so bad behind the plate, though. Like,
Well,
he's got
yeah.
the few homers, but dude, he missed so many pitches Friday night. They're in trouble if this is
Well, the sweeper, the one where it got away and they scored that run was the one that, because they said it on the broadcast too. They were like he's gonna throw a sweeper and Romo's got to catch it, and he threw the sweeper and he couldn't catch it, and it just like that's so that's gonna be the biggest thing. I mean, we don't have any other catchers, do we? That could even take Romo's spot if they wanted to.
Corey Lee still
yeah.
chilling,
I
still
keep forgetting
chilling
about
in
Corey
AAA.
Lee. Man,
They must really not
AAA.
like him though.
What's they just he brings back too many bad memories. Maybe they're just like, well, and trade him. I don't know. But you're right. I forgot about Corey Lee. I mean, what could it hurt to bring him up?
Because
in
you'd
reality?
lose Romo. Now people are going to be
DFA.
looking for backup catchers. So if you DFA Romo, some team may be desperate enough to just pick him up, and then I don't know. But other than that, that's really all I had before we got to the week ahead. Is there anything else any of you wanted to touch on? Anything that comes to mind that you wanted to highlight or discuss here?
Nothing.
No, not too much. I mean, it's
Just riding high.
a great week. It was a great week, and they just got to keep it up. I mean, you don't need another 5-1 week out west, but it's really more, maybe even beyond the record, what you see this week from the pitching. I think I need a steady week from the starting rotation.
Yeah. And two, I mean, we got to win. Has Cleveland just won every time? I feel like every day when I'm like, oh, let's see what Cleveland, they win. That like, are they on a winning streak right now, or
they're on a?
Because that's the thing.
What it is every time we lose.
For how great the NL Central is compared to the AL Central, the Sox and Cleveland both took series against their NL Central foes this weekend.
And now the Cubs and Brewers are facing each other, aren't they? This week, right? Today.
Yeah, that's a huge series. I think it's a game and a half difference in that division right now. So
both Cleveland and the Sox are 7-3 in their last 10. So that pretty much aligns with why I said like you're looking for like a little bit inch up a little bit in the standings. I think really Cleveland, just try and hang with them as best you can. But if you can start building a significant lead on Detroit and Kansas City, I think Minnesota's irrelevant, because unless they're super in it, they're going to flip guys at the deadline because they're trending in that direction. So as big of a lead as you could build now, just do that and figure it out with. I mean, you're going to have to beat Cleveland to catch them in the standings. You're going to have to play Cleveland well this year, and that never seems to be our thing. But a lot of things.
We never played the Royals well, though. We've done that well so far this year, so that's kind of the one thing that's like, okay, we got through the Royals. That means so far.
Yeah, that's why I started this off saying let's not overlook that Royals sweep, because that's when you're talking about making up ground and shit that they weren't doing before, it's beating the AL Central.
Every time they win against the division, doesn't it count as 2 games too? I think right in the standings in a way or something like that.
Well, over the team that they beat, yes.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I thought. I always remember Chuck or something like that saying it. So. Yeah, I don't know. Who is pitching in the Seattle series?
I was pulling that up right now. Let me take a look.
It'll be Schultz tonight, Kay tomorrow, and Burke on Wednesday.
So it's Schultz versus Brian Wu tonight. So that should be interesting because Wu's had 2 really good starts in a row, but we have somewhat
hit
of
Wu very well though in the past. The last 2 starts, I think we've hit him very well.
Tomorrow, it's K versus to be decided or determined. So that's a good sign because they must view that as an easy win. So if K can just keep doing what he's doing, maybe we pull one out there. And then what is it here? Burke against Hancock. Who didn't we rough him up in Chicago when he pitched?
Who was it?
Emerson Hancock or Hannock or however you pronounce it.
Maybe.
Yeah, he had a couple good innings, and then they got to him for like 4 or 5, if I remember correctly.
So I'm going to say they'll take 2 out of 3 in Seattle. I'm just feeling a little confident here. Obviously, after this past week, how could you not at least feel a little bit? I mean, let's go.
They take 2 out of 3 in both series this week. Why the hell not?
I mean, that's the thing. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you on that. 2 out of 3.
It's kind of how I feel. Yeah, if you get
the way that they're playing right now, I mean, the way that they're feeling, especially after yesterday, they need to go in there and feel like they could just beat anybody. And I think that's what the locker room does feel like. They can go out there and compete with these games every single day, no matter if they get down by 4 runs. We saw it last week. Twice they got down in one game against the Royals and the second game, or one of them. But I think them being able to come back, it was yesterday's game they got against the Cubs, and I just think them being able to come back is something that we haven't seen to know. As I said earlier, you have to turn off a White Sox game because all it takes is a couple home runs from these guys, and we're right back into it. So.
Well, and even Friday, didn't they go down early on Friday against the Cubs? And then they did fight back.
Yeah.
But then
obviously
that's right.
They did. It was 4-4. And then the Cubs blew it open. So, I mean, and that's going to happen. I mean, we're still a young team. Shit's going to happen. They're not going to play fucking amazing, and maybe they will. But again, I mean, it's just one of those things. Just keep going and just keep trying to go out there and compete every day. And that's what they're doing right now. And all of the homies still hate Josh Naylor, right?
Oh, yeah. Fuck Josh Naylor. No, the only other thing I wanted to touch on, just that it seems to be buzzing on social media, is PCA's interaction with the fan. I really did not think it was that big of a deal, and just think people are just looking for something to argue about. Don't really give a shit. If someone's going to talk shit, you're going to probably get it back. That's pretty much anywhere you go in life.
I think he's thin-skinned, but I don't care.
Yeah.
Did that, and I don't think that she really did either. I think that people were like, with her tweet, she's trying to make a victim of herself. I think she just thought her tweet was funny because of what? When she was like just trying to celebrate my engagement or whatever the hell it was. I don't think she cared that he clapped back, and he's like he's on an apology tour in the media. Like, I don't like him at all, but Jesus Christ, who cares? Like,
I think the Cubs were like, you're gonna fucking apologize, because last night he was like, he did not give a shit when he got asked about it after the game, and today it was like, all right, what are you doing?
Who cares? Like, it's fun. It should be. I mean, it can't be publicly celebrated, but it should be celebrated. It
adds to the rivalry.
Yeah.
If a Sox fan can get under a Cubs player's skin that easily, and it causes this much, like, doesn't that just make the rivalry even more of a bitter, exactly what you would want?
Yes.
And how long has it been since it's been like that, where both teams are actually competitive and good, where it does feel like that game yesterday?
Garrett jacked AJ in the face.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're going back almost 20 years to where it actually felt like it did this weekend. So
I mean, yesterday's game might have been, and I don't even care if the Cubs would have won, whatever. Yesterday's game might have been one of the best crosstown classic games that I've ever watched, between the comebacks, the pitching, I mean, and just in general. And yes, it's awesome the Sox won. But I mean, it was insane. I mean, you couldn't sit down. You move away from the TV, and something was happening. It was just,
you couldn't have scripted it any better. Tristan Peters, it's a 3-run go-ahead homer, and then you have Sir Anthony Dominguez, who you're like, wow, the Sox paid a closer this year. Hopefully, he'll just close this shit down. Nope, couldn't get out of it. And then when the Cubs, they score 1 run in the 10th? You're like, okay, we are horrible generally in extra innings. And then the guy who has been hated on most on any social media platform comes up and just takes a yard and has his moment. So I think just wrapping the show up on this, Tino, you can take it away.
There you go. Well, I think you said they're perfect. I mean, there's really not much else to say. It was a great week to be a Chicago White Sox baseball fan, especially beating two teams, as I said, they've beaten up on us for so long that the fact that we have more wins in a week against two teams than we had in 3 years is sad. So I ain't going to have no sympathy for Cubs or Royals fans. You guys, we'll see how it continues to play out. But another great week of White Sox baseball. Let's continue it, and let's see how we do against Seattle and the Giants. I almost said 49ers. This is not football season yet. So, guys, appreciate you as always. Chat, everybody here joining us. Make sure you guys get ready for Picks to Click again. We got a lot of people involved right now, so continue to stay involved. We'll be giving away a bobblehead to the winner of that, so make sure you guys continue to do all of that. Let's enjoy the series against the two games, and we will see you next week at 5 o'clock for another Southside Boys episode. Deuces.